Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play a Virtue's Last Reward Part 18, I think? Last time, what did we do? I'm trying to remember. It's been a day. Um, I just woke up and it's like, yep, it's time to record, dudes. I know we voted. We decided to ultimately ally with Alice because I felt like the game is going to punish us for betraying someone who can't vote in defense of themselves. I feel like we learned several other things in that video, but I really can't remember. Oh yeah, I know we cured Quark and Alice. I think that was in that last video where we got the Accelavir.
Results will be displayed.
We
in
finally
the
learned what
warehouse.
the IG replicator is for.
Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
So yeah, we're with Luna. Alright, let's go have a look at the results. Because see, I'm not really worried about
Results
our
from
outcome.
round 2
Because
of the Ambidex game will now be displayed.
we know that we're going to get points. I'm just worried about how the outcome of the other votes is going to go. And if like K or someone's going to ditch us again.
Please direct your attention to the results screen.
So K, Clover, Ally, Betray, good. Okay, that's fine. Betray, gosh, you guys are all assholes. Wait, what? What?
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly.
There's no way. I mean,
Please
even if
check
she
your
like,
bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
even if she woke up, didn't we get there like just seconds before voting started? Like there wouldn't have been enough time to like come in after us. Also, we're dead. What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked again. No. I mean, did someone vote for her? But I mean, the only person who could have done that would have been Tim Miyoji. Because he's the only one that wasn't in the room. How could Alice's vote be Betray? It was a question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp, quick pain in my... What the fuck? Dude, that's so rude. First would be the anesthetic Soparil. Blinked. It's like no one else even cares that we're about to die either. They're just like, oh well, that's what he gets for being a fucking Dumbo. Obviously should have known Alice's ghost was gonna betray him. Gosh, she's such a garbage
Sigma.
character. Okay, at least Spy cares we're about to die.
Sigma! Hang on!
Man.
Oh no! Sigma! Get up!
It's like, no one think it's weird that Alice was able to betray us?
Sigma! Sigma!
No.
And also, I mean, even if she could vote, why would she be such an asshole? And
Why?
my eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them open. Everything was growing blurry, but I noticed the door of the second AV room was open. No one had gone into that room. I'd watched them all. And yet, there she stood, an apparition that couldn't possibly be real. What an absolute bitch. The world was gradually going black and my mouth refused to form words, and my head echoed with questions. How? Why? What was she doing there? Why is she such a massive bitch? But even if she had, why choose Betray? I mean, I can't believe she willingly murdered us. Dude, no wonder she and Clover are friends. I'm like really mad. Whatever. we'll just go back and make the opposite choice. It's not like a big deal or anything, but it's pretty frustrating. Because I mean, on one hand, it's kind of like, I don't know. I felt like it was either because it's like, okay, you've got like Luna telling you what to do, right? And a lot of times in the game tells you, hey, this is what you got to do. They're lying, so maybe you shouldn't trust the game. But at the same time, it's like, well, maybe it's like a morality choice, you know, where if you vote against the person who can't, I mean, yeah, you're going to get punished for like karma or whatever, but. No, the game just wants you to be an asshole in return.
30 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
And this is where I bet like we betray and then she doesn't betray or something. Like it's different this time and then we look like the asshole.
It's probably a little late to say this, but you know Alice is still in the Inferno.
Okay, yeah, we've seen this. I mean, I really do feel bad, even though I shouldn't. Oh, whoops. Luna and I stepped out of the AV room, plus she's gonna be all mad.
Why? What happened to it's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting?
Well, circumstances have changed.
I thought...
There was nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I picked betray instead. It had almost felt unconscious, like some other part of my mind was making the decision. Perhaps I've been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my fingers to the betray button against my will. Right. Well, we should go see the results.
Really? We already know what they are. It's just simple math.
The look in her eyes was more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. I turned away and almost ran toward the projector. Anything to get away from those eyes.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Okay, so this is all betray. And those are all betrays that make sense. Oh, okay. Whew, so we don't feel like an absolute asshole. Wow, what a bitch. And you know, the thing is that now she's gonna feel fucking justified about it. Oh, I'm so mad.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly.
Because she's gonna be all like, you were gonna betray me. I was like,
please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
like basically we look like the asshole regardless, even though she killed us in an alternate reality. Also, like everyone betrayed that round. That was a completely pointless round of voting. What? It wasn't possible. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and looked Yosiness. That's not possible. She was standing inside the second room to the left. The room that should have been empty. Why? My mind was still reeling. Where did she come from? As I was trying to form a sentence, she began to move toward. Oh no! It annoys me because she's gonna be mad, and she's like rightfully angry, but at the same time,
thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it?
we're the victim in the situation, okay? She didn't even like apologize in that bad ending. That's what makes me even angrier.
Coward.
Me? A coward? You got some balls saying that to me after you picked betray. Why are you even here?
You gave me the antivirus, didn't you?
Yeah, also, we saved her life. Oh, that makes me even more mad.
Tenmyoji told me. Thank you.
What? Oh, Alice is like so far below everyone else in the power rankings now. Like Dio, she's worse than Dio. Because I mean, now she's indirectly murdered us.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
You should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Oh, I'm so bad.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people,
Okay.
a result of my training.
Uh-huh.
I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary.
Well, how do you know it's more than the standard dose? You don't know how much gas we got.
Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
Dang, Timioju, couldn't you have stalled her? So you showed up right after we'd gone to the AV room? Did we enter with like 10 seconds left?
Yes, right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Yeah. Tell her, Luna.
Right.
See, Luna gets it.
What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it?
No, because you wouldn't have died, whereas we would have died.
You two chose betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
Who gives a shit?
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
No. You're full of shit. Tell her, Sigma. Self-defense my ass. You chose betray because you wanted out. You had 6 BP. If I'd picked ally, you would have had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right? Also, mention the fact that she would have murdered us?
So what if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look, I only have 1 BP. She's the reason we only have 1 BP too. God, how is this so bad? Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so that you could escape.
Don't be stupid.
Oh, I'm like actually legitimately angry right now.
I knew you'd choose betray.
No, you didn't.
There was...
Tell the truth.
That is the truth.
Uh-huh.
Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here?
Well, because everyone else's betrays made sense. I mean, come on, you're going up against Dio, of course you betray. And you're going up against Clover, of course you betray.
Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
I mean, all of those make sense. Actually, well... Okay, Fies is in self-defense, because come on, you're going up against Dio. You know, and plus Dio trying to kill Fi, well, that's pretty in character. Like, no one has really high expectations for Dio. Actually, in this playthrough, he's not bad, but...
Yes, if Dio had chosen ally, Fi would have killed Tenmyoji. And if she'd chosen ally, Dio would have killed her.
Well... I mean, that would make sense, because, I mean, they were pretty obvious that they were going to betray each other going in.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another.
Well, yeah, it's because they're assholes.
Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
Turn to look at the results again. Before, I'd only been looking at my own. I hadn't realized that there was only one word all across the roster. Betray. Whatever trust we managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. We'd be trapped in a cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. You know, the real bad thing is that we have to go through like 3 or 4 rounds to get 9 BP at this point. You probably already figured this out, but we can't keep going on like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never going to get out of here. We need to work together. I might as well have been talking into a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Dude, why is everyone so evil? They're all just schemers.
I'll be leaving too.
I mean, I feel like the only person we can trust is like Luna. Like, Fi's kind of a question mark.
Things are getting a little too intense here for my
and like
Delicate constitution.
Tin Myoji. Those are like the only 3 semi-trustable people right now. I mean, Luna's a little sus because she's like too nice.
Sorry.
Well, in that case,
Etufai?
yeah. Sorry.
Oh, everyone's just leaving us? Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer.
I mean, just because other people are assholes doesn't absolve you of your assholishness.
In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves.
That's not how this works.
So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here. Come on, Clover.
She's definitely
Let's go.
the worst, though. 'Cause we...
Hold on! I'm coming! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
Oh, you're worried about her? Oh, I'm so mad.
Everyone's gone.
You aren't going to leave too.
No,
Are you sure? I chose Betray.
I know. But I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something,
Yeah, let's go with that.
right?
My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closing echoed throughout the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed.
How long do we got?
Round 3 of the Ambidex game. Starkey. There is the
As many times as we want, huh?
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over, too.
Which is why everyone should just be tied up so no one can vote, and then after a few hours, everyone will have enough points. Because it'll automatically ally, and that's literally the way you play this game. It's not that hard, people. Also, aren't there only 5 booths? Because aren't there like 6 different groups of people? Shouldn't there be 6 booths? Wait, no, there's 6 booths. Yeah, I guess just her obscuring this one confused me for a second.
Sigma? Could you show me your bracelet?
Why?
Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically.
Oh, yeah.
So
What? Yeah, I remember. Let's see. So we're a 1 pair. What about you? She's a
I'm a
magenta pair. I wonder what the others are. So I mean, we're not going to Luna. Got that
We
much.
could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
Dude, if we have to go with Alice again, I'm actually gonna lose my fucking gourd. We've got about hour 20 minutes. 80 minutes until the next set of chromatic doors open. So, what should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah, physically and emotionally. I really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AV game, nobody trusts anyone else. We'll never be able to get out of here.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal.
Get all out at the same time?
Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Like, it's not, I mean, especially at this point where you don't have to redo the puzzles over and over again, right? Like, it should be very easy for everyone to get 9 points and get out. Like, this, there's not even like a time limit like the last No Ring game. Like, this one is so much easier from like a mechanical level, you know? Like, the solution is just not as difficult. Because it's just, you do your puzzles, everyone votes ally, or you don't let anyone vote at all. As like a group, you collectively do that, so there's no chance of any betrayal. After like 4 rounds, everyone's got 9 BP, and then you all leave the door together. But the entire population of the game is assholes who are selfish, and they can't just wait a couple more hours for other people to get out.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
Well, we do have an enemy. We've got Zero.
Yes, a common foe, like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
After coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb while she gave Alice and Court the Accelavir. Yeah, I mean, that might work. If we can figure out which one of us planted those bombs, then everyone else would work together against them.
Right.
But how do we figure out who it is?
Well, do you have any clues?
No. Everyone is hella suspicious. Clues, huh? Oh yeah, there's the memory card. The memory card! I pulled that out of my pocket and held it out towards her. Oh, maybe
What's
there's a
this?
computer in the infirmary or something? I told you, a memory card. It was under the bomb we found in the lab. I think whoever set the bomb dropped it.
Really?
I don't know what's on it though. We couldn't find any kind of memory card or
Oh, I guess we can't really use it then.
Come on, there's gotta be at least one computer in this place. I mean, I doubt it connects to the internet or anything, but...
Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
Huh?
Yes, I remember.
Oh,
The infirmary.
the infirmary.
I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Theo and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then
Yes.
there's probably something to read it
I
then.
think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
Luna and I exploded into the infirmary, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Timioji. Are they trying to murder Timioji? Quark was there as well, of course, but he was just as we left him, asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I don't know. Every time she talks, I get mad. If I really wanted people to start trusting each other, well, real change starts at home. God, why do we gotta be the better person?
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
That's a very questionable line. Oh my god.
Go ahead.
Right. We'll stick it in already. Just as Luna had said, there was a small slot under the screen exactly the right size to fit a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters.
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set.
Are you, yeah, of course. Oh, you can kind of, oh, they like alternate. Okay. Wait. FK, yeah, so they all alternate.
In other words, the first two rows just repeat.
Yeah,
Is this some kind of code or
It
something?
doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
That word kind of looks like random. Looks like, this literally looks like random to me.
was there anything else on there?
I don't.
No, it doesn't look like it.
So maybe there's like hidden words, like if you like swap stuff in between or something. But I don't really see. Hey Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's up?
Does any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it looks like the English alphabet.
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
Training.
This is.
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two.
Yeah,
How about
seriously.
you share it with the rest of the class?
Tell him, Timioji. Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
The Myrmidons.
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, They're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
Oh, of course, you know, casual stuff.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb?
It was set by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes. Well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Damn, have I got a ton of questions for you. Let me start with this one. What the heck does that thing say?
I don't know.
Wow, you are a useless spy.
How am I supposed to decode it?
I don't know, with your brain, girl.
I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
I mean, maybe you're just not smart enough. I mean, obviously this says egg, random, egg.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See?
So you guys are useless. Get Kay's robot brain in here. He'll be able to figure it out. Well, we can come back to that code stuff later. I've got another question. Alice, Clover, who the hell are you? Why do you know about this code?
That's...
You told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. Just what the hell kind of job is that? I think it's time you told us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Oh my god, I hate this girl. I hate her. I hate her so much.
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
That's unlikely. If anything, you're suspicious, because you're the one coming up with names and organizations for shit. For all we know, you could have just made that shit up. That's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof?
I don't know. The fact that we're the main character can't be evil.
For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm your... Hell no, we're not our friend. I just want all of us to get out of here. Just please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. But we have too little information. We need your help. Fine. If you won't tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Oh. I mean, let's just say, I don't know who murdered her in the other path, but, you know, I'm not too mad about it.
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until we get some fucking answers, lady. Until you tell me what you know.
Then why don't you just ask Clover? You already know she works with me.
Well, yeah.
Then why don't you...
I wanted to hear it from you.
Why?
I don't know, because apparently this path has got a weird obsession with Alice. That's a good question, actually. Remember the crew quarters of this garden? We got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I've spent more time with you than with anybody else here. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
What? She spun around to hide it, but I caught a oh my god. I stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench, and we gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several long minutes before she began to speak.
You don't hate me?
Yes, actually, like, an unbelievable amount of hate. What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
Yeah, you did, and you succeeded. You mean in the AB game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real.
That's what they said the symptoms of Radical 6 are like.
Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
That was probably the Radical 6.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that, but when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back. So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could.
I mean, it's still pretty shitty. I mean, like, I don't know, because you would have murdered us, so...
It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared.
That's not really, like, giving you that much sympathy for her. It's like, I don't know, I don't really think I would have given a shit if I'd killed you, honestly. Like, oh, it's so sympathetic, gosh, I feel so bad for Alice.
See? I'm horrible.
Yeah.
You hate me, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying it, not me.
Just do it!
Okay, we're not gonna murder her, you know, because we're not bad guys.
Kill me! Get it over with!
What the hell, Alice? I'm not gonna kill you. I don't even hate you. Well, that's up for debate.
You're lying! I could have killed you. I would have killed you.
I mean, just because we hated Clover in the last game, we never murdered her. I mean, well, the game did give us the option, but, you know, we probably would have done it. Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. Do you think maybe she still has the disease? Maybe there's some lingering effects. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek, then another and another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached out, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with me. I don't know why I read that as talking. He's talking to the tears. He's the tear whisperer.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
Thanks, I guess. That's who you're after, right? The people who killed your dad?
Yes.
Did they have anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
I suppose. Come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself. And about the Myrmidons.
Dude.
Deal?
Sigma has, like, socially engineered her. She's been manipulated. Sure, my lips are sealed.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna watch this video anyway, so you're safe. What crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. Alright then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. Ooh, do I need to get my talking voice ready? We're already 30 minutes in. Fuck it, let's go. I'm not ready to stop. My father is Egyptian, but my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation. They married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist and his field was cloning. He was recruited by an American lab, which is why we moved. Both of my parents had used English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. In the middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. Her eyes were red and puffy, but she didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when dinner time came and went with no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. My father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. I didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her, as a single mother alone in a country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. She did her best not to let me see it, but every so often, when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and in every line of her face I could see the exhaustion and loneliness. As much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student and did well in math. I earned a full-ride scholarship straight out of high school and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Their purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I could tell my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father was none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. Yo, what the fuck? I guess it's the future, but I don't think we're... Oh, shit. I just knocked something over with my glass. Whoops. Like, I know it's the future, but I don't think we're going to be cloning people in 10 years. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now at last I knew the reason for my father's abduction. The commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. Wait. What a garbage name. We know his name and his gender, but not his age, his appearance, or his age. The Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free the Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides their funding, but trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. I mean, Brother, that's an okay cult leader name. I mean, it's not like 10 out of 10, but it's like a solid cult leader name. Left, that's an awful terrorist leader name. Just very bad. Brother's supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumors say that he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Unfortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I hit a wall. I knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. Then, one day I got a tip that some of them were hiding in a building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. There it is. There's the ending to 999. On the way out there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Oh yes, Clover. Clover. That was the first time we met. There were 4 other people in the car, but we just pretend they don't exist anymore. And when I asked them what they were doing, all I got was, wait, what? When I asked them what they were doing, I got what was about the last answer I expected. My brain turned off for a second there. They told me they'd just been locked up inside the very building I'd been on my way to investigate, and they were currently in pursuit of the people who had kidnapped them in the first place. My priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced them to allow me to come along. My hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons. Well, so you're saying, what were their names again? Santa and Akane are Myrmidons? In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. In fact, I still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, I took Clover and her companions to SOIS headquarters. I was like, what the hell is a SOIS? We decided that involving the police would only complicate things. After some questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated this particular event were not connected to the Myrmidon. Okay. I was gonna say, like, that was all just about, saving Akane, not like any other nonsense. We did, however, discover that the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years ago was connected to Free the Soul. So the original Nolan Marie game was connected to Free the Soul. There was also a sixth person in the SUV, although they weren't riding in it per se. A middle-aged man, who I'll just call H for now, had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other four, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. We also learned that his pharmaceutical company, a major player on the world stage, was effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose H was a member of Free the Soul, very committed to their cause. So, why had he kidnapped all those children? Apparently, it had been part of an experiment designed to test the abilities of certain people to access what's called the morphogenetic field. I don't imagine you ever heard of it before, so I'll try and give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field, get it? Because it's a morphogenetic field, that allows, you're not supposed to use the word in the definition, by the way, that's a very no-no in English, that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of certain other people. To be honest, it might be simpler to just call it telepathy. The SOIS had heard of this particular ability before, and had actually used it in a number of investigations, so I wasn't surprised to learn of its existence. I was shocked, however, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. The thought of him discovering a way to control and harness that power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip of the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. My bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with the threat of that magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiments, we knew she had the ability to access the morphogenetic field, and we wanted to put the ability to use. After several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. She would be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of a Myrmidon cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. I hoped that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. At last I had a chance to find out what had happened to him. I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. The lab was fake and Clover was captured almost immediately. Why is she like in a fast food worker's outfit? I got it there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All of the conspirators who had pretended to be researchers and the like had already fled. I searched frantically for Clover until at last, in a basement room, I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. He looked as if he'd just been dumped there, and when I got to him, his body was already cold. He was covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. They had beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been kidnapped, or captured, a Myrmidon in the mask had come to visit her. He said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters of the SOIS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they'd killed him. Perhaps they thought they were sending a message to me, or that once he was gone I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. I took Clover with me and left. I tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later I received a call from the coroner. He told me there was something I needed to see. There in the morgue was my father, cold and pale on a steel table. I could barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers comprised of 8s and 9s. It took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters this time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I'd shed since the operation had started, and there was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness, not for the monsters who had done this to my father. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay, even if they had to die to do it. That night I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure that out, that the numbers that he'd written were the latitude and longitude. They pointed to a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the motherlode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidons. I think my father must have known how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he'd written the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. He'd sacrificed too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time, our operation would succeed. Well, considering the fact that the Myrmidons still exist, I have a feeling they didn't succeed. This time I wouldn't let my excitement put Clover and any other agents in danger. So we took our time, we gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2028 was going to be the day we finally set inside the Myrmidon stronghold. Is that the current year? Are we in 2028 or 2029? But then on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation, oh okay, so it's this year, a man in a gas mask appeared. So you inhaled that gas, passed out, and woke up here in the AB room?
Yes.
Well, that's a pretty good stopping point. We're already at 47 minutes. Go ahead and I guess save it up. It's not like it really matters, but yeah, okay, that was a pretty eventful video. We got our bad end. We learned quite a bit about Alice and a little bit about the Myrmidons who are potentially maybe behind this. We'll still lots of questions. You know, we're still at the point where there's more questions than answers, but we're getting there. We're slowly chipping away. We're starting to put the pieces together. But yeah, I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part, and bye, guys.